Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia. Welcome back to a brand new Total War 3 Kingdoms Let's Play featuring Han Sui. Now, even though Han Sui was a unique character ever since the launch of the base game, he was never made playable. So the reason why we can have this campaign here is due to the 190 expanded mod, along with a collection of other mods that you can see in the description below. Now previously we already played 2 campaigns with this mod, and we're going back to it because recently it got a huge update. And from this update, we have a lot of factions in the south being fleshed out, as well as a few factions in the northwest. For those who are unfamiliar with this mod, the mod is called 190 Expanded because it's featuring the 190 start date and it expands the map. You can see that there's new areas in the northwest as well as in the northeast, all the way into the Korean peninsula, with new playable factions and a lot of historical characters and new mechanics for these new factions as well. So this is an excellent mod, along with all the overhauls that are part of this mod. The collection also adds things like MTU, so more characters, incorporate some of the TUP artwork, so you can see everyone has unique art, and there's a lot of good historical background created for these characters as well. So for those who are unfamiliar with certain characters, you can read their character background and get a good idea of their place in history at this time. Now, Han Sui rebelled alongside Ma Teng. They were both former Han officials, low-tier officers. They were part of this Liang Rebellion, the later part of the Liang Rebellion, and they became sort of regional warlords in this chaotic period, along with many others like Song Jian, who's also on the map here. And Han Sui fought his entire life, the tireless insurgent. I believe he lived till his late 60s. He died a warlord, refusing to surrender to the likes of Cao Cao, unlike his friend Ma Teng, who did take an office job and moved to Ye after Cao Cao offered him to surrender. So Han Sui would be quite an interesting faction for us to play. In the beginning of the game, we just have Jin Cheng, and we have the insurgency mechanic, which boosts combat potential and spying capabilities. So we'll have our fair share of combat as well as espionage. The amount of insurgency is increased by your spying activities and winning battles, and it's lost in many ways, like losing or having spies inside your faction, and by decay. The decay on this is actually quite high. We'll talk about the mechanic design once we get into game. Our unique unit will be the Qiang unit, as well as some Wuhu war bands. Wuhu just means the 5 barbarians. It's a generic term that the Han had for the various nomadic tribes in this area. And we also will have Spy Master, a new position that can give us increase to cover gains, maximum cover gains. So basically the gain we have per turn, as well as our cap and other spy faction-wide buffs. We actually have a lot of historical characters, mainly Western warlords who took part in Ma Chao's rebellion. I think this is where the mod makers got most of the historical characters for Han Sui, and we'll hop into game and talk about some of them. So that's pretty much the general setup. We'll be playing this on Romance with the legendary difficulty setting and 40-minute battle timer. So let's hop into game and see how we start here. Alrighty, so as we load in here, the people in the neighboring regions have been suffering heavily under the poor and cruel rule of unfit prefects and administrators. You have heard reports that they cry out for a kind and just lord to liberate them from their oppressive fate. You cannot let this opportunity go to waste. Take advantage of the ill-prepared enemy by striking hard and fast. Only meager garrisons, barely trained and poorly commanded, stand in the way of your forces. Command your generals to secure the region at once. After their inevitable victory, the grateful commoners and gentry alike will sing your praises for their liberation. In return for saving them, put the populace and their resources to good use to strengthen your position and bolster your allies. So basically our first mission is just basically take the land in front of us, and we'll gain the support of the people. And this is our setup. We'll do the ahistorical setup so that we let Anguo and Huaxiong, the MTU characters, survive. Or else they would have already been dead, as they don't exist in history. I mean, Hua Xiong exists, but he already got killed by Sun Jian, so he shouldn't be here. We will give all the abandoned land to looters. And here, there is a current bug where we don't want to press this. Broken, do not press. We want to go with left alone here. So the Naman tribe will be split in the beginning. And we'll let the Bu's faction be on the field as a vassal faction. And we'll also let Sun Ce be on the field as a vassal faction for his father. That way, these unique factions can be in the game even on the 190 start. Alright, that's the brief setup we have. We're fighting against Yellow Turban Rebels here. Barely anything. Our army consists of ourselves, Han Sui, with a pretty good weapon. Nothing crazy on the armor. 80% base armor. Actually, that is pretty good. I don't think his base game armor is this high, so this must be the mod. And our bonuses are changed from the base game. We now have 3 morale when defending, 10 points of maximum cover when spying, and 10% replenishment. The replenishment is really good. We're also unbreakable when defending on the campaign map. There's a lot of balancing changes. Unbreakable obviously is very strong, so it's been nerfed a bit. So it's only defending. And we have 3% fatigue rate when we're a council member. I believe that should be active because we are the leader. Even though leader, maybe it's not, because leader is clearly not in the council. We'll have to see wording. Maybe it's just a replacement term. Actually, no, we still see Prime Minister, heir, or faction leader, so they must be just for council members. This way you get effects faction-wide before you get to kingdom, because you can get council members much earlier. Ma Van, so Sentinel of Liang. Let's see, allowing his fellow Western warriors to charge, Ma Van instead opts to hold the line. So Ma Van was a Western warlord that would join Ma Chao's rebellion around 211. I believe he just basically fades out of history after the result of that, rebellion. He wasn't mentioned again, so I'm assuming he's either killed in action or missing in action. There's no line that says he died either, so we just don't know. He's given an 80 base armor here. Seems like armor is just very cheap. Everyone has high armor. And he has the family spear. Now I believe Riwan's balancing mod is also active, so we'll see how the units are. There should be a lot of changes to the strength of units that we have to pay attention to as well. So we have melee bonus versus cavalry, no bonus versus infantry, low evasion, low armor. Not as fast as before. The Mounted Lancer Militia has really got its speed nerfed down, and the unit size is no longer 30. It's been weakened. So basically the Militia Mounted Lancer has been weakened quite a bit. Still pretty expensive. Sentinel of Liao gets him Scare, plus 5 morale when defending for the army. Nothing too crazy here. Sway Riders. So his units will all gain the Raider trait, so they'll burn down buildings when they're idle. And we gain military supplies. So the Riders of Han Sui. There is some literature on the 8 members who joined Ma Chao's rebellion. There are some sources who call them the 8 Riders of Ma Chao. Some sources call them the 8 Riders of Han Sui. I think for this version of the mod, they're going with the literature that most of these characters are associated with Han Sui, which I think historically is probably correct. Han Sui was a much more senior member out west, so the alliance really, dictated a lot from him. Satisfaction is not high, but it's not too low. I guess we have to watch out leveling him up. I'm not going to really favor him that much. There's plenty of unique characters, as you can see. Our court is very filled. Our son and heir, Han Xin here, also 80 base armor. Armor is cheap, I guess. No weapons here. I mean, just default Great Axe. Not bad, but not great. Final Rush, Flame of the Phoenix, so no special abilities on him. Envoy to the Qiang. Some extra melee damage for shot cavalry, guerrilla deployment. Very average traits. Hopefully some rerolls in the future. We even have a... well, that's faction... that's council member, so we're fine there. The 8 Riders of Sui. Okay, so there is sort of this joint ability. When we have another friendly unit with this ability, we will give off an AoE morale increase and melee evasion increase. Alright, and also 32 points of stats. Not bad. Now, does Hansui have something like that? So the Riders of Hansui Hansui himself doesn't have that bonus. Interesting. We have Cheng here. Cheng was another one of these warlords out west. He kind of ran away after the failed rebellion, went to Zhanglu. And when Zhanglu surrendered, he surrendered alongside Zhanglu. Yeah, 80 base armor. Seems like everyone has 80 base armor. Motivators of the D. D is a nomadic tribe in the area. So they're basically, I think this is randomly associated. I don't think there's any historical sources that points to Cheng Ying being a friend of the D. We have the Sui Riders. I'm guessing he has that skill. The 8 Riders of Sui. He starts with it. And then Sentinel abilities. Okay, not bad. Another one of our sons. Snake in the Sand. Oh, he gives his retinue snipe. So even though he's a champion, I guess you want range unit on him? 55 armor. Well, I feel bad for you. You're the first 55 we have. Default champion skills. So nothing really special. The snipe is interesting. I guess regular archers hiding in the forest will shoot without exposing themselves. And then we have Zhang Heng. So he's part of the group that is close with Liang Xing and Jia Xu. They're from the same hometown. And he's the one who ended up killing Li Jue and gifting his head to Cao Cao. This is after Li Jue lost the emperor and sort of lost favor out west. I mean, he's not too significant himself, Zhang Heng. Vanguard of Weinan. We got some campaign movement range. 15% is pretty decent. 25% speed. 80 armor. Yeah, I feel bad for our son. He's also a Sui rider. He doesn't start with it though. Hou Xuan. First in this fray. I think Hou Xuan and Cheng Yin both fled to Zhanglu and then later surrendered to Cao Cao. 15% charge bonus for his own retinue. This is not bad. I think he belongs on the field. Another Sui rider, so I'm guessing we have the 8 rider Sui ability. Flame of the Phoenix, Roar of the Beast. It replaces one of the bad passive for the Vanguard, so I think this is actually quite good. I think he's one of the better characters to develop for us. Cheng Gongyin. The Flight of 3 Arrows. Shall never forget the kindness of his past masters, nor shall he forget the choices that led him to the present, as both are key to a bright future. I'm not quite familiar with him. This stacked, 2 character surnames are pretty rare. Cheng Gongyin. Not one of the riders of Sui, so not one who rebelled alongside Ma Chao. Interesting. I wonder what his historical background is. Yang Qiu. Yang Qiu is actually the one to kind of, I would say, win out in this mess for people who were out west. He surrendered to Cao Cao and became quite a significant general in Cao Pi's court. Very highly ranked. So found a good future for himself. Rider of Anding. Armor piercing damage up. Melee evasion for spear infantry. Also quite good. 80 armor. Sui Riders, Hamstring and Binding Fury, not bad. Another character we can look to build up. Our daughter, Rebellious Princess, good administrator, Public Water and Commerce boost. 55 armor, just like his her younger brother. Who's older actually? She's 18. Yep, younger brother. Cheng Yi. Cheng Yi, I think he's one that died early on. Yeah, with the Sui Riders. Another one, the Rebels. Basically, there's 8 of them, right? Yan Xing. Yan Xing's not really a Sui Rider. He's more of a lieutenant of Han Sui. Pretty important character, has relationship with Cao Cao. Eventually surrendered to Cao Cao after he had a fallout with Han Sui. 80 armor. Jin Cheng's finest. Own retinue has melee damage, melee evasion. Tranquil, very good trait. Yeah, definitely want him on the field as well. They made Agile lose some armor. Armor trade-off for melee evasion. That's an interesting change. Li Kan. Li Kan, I think, died early on. I think he died early on fighting in the rebellion with Ma Chao. Yeah, another one, the Sui Riders. Liang Xing died. He was like asked to guard one of the port areas near the ferry in the north, but Cao Cao was able to beat him to it and crossed over. He ran down south to Chang'an to loot and recover, and Xia Houyuan chased him down and killed him. So another one who died in the early periods of that rebellion. But he should also get Sui Riders. Yes, 1 to 8. I believe this is the wife they give you, sort of a fictional wife given to Han Sui. 55 armor, 5 points of satisfaction when present. That's actually pretty useful. See down Tigress. Supplies and range damage. Nothing too crazy there. No unique abilities. Okay, very big court. It's going to be tough to manage the satisfaction here. We might have to give up on a few characters, even though I would argue everyone except for Cheng Gongyin, who I have no idea who he is historically relevant to us. And we'll try to keep everyone. This is our Spy Master position. I wonder if we can propose an early marriage to our friend Ma Teng. Is Ma Chao married? It's strange to see it's not available. Just curious to see who's available for marriage here. I mean, we definitely want to start with the trade route. The map looks really weird. Let me flip the map first. Ma Teng or Han Dansheng. Han Dansheng will be in Wei. We probably be taking over Shuofang before we cross over. Like looking at the relationship, most of our fighting will be over here. Ma Teng has actually a piece of land that would be nice to trade over later once he gets a decent capital. We get a better deal. 2.9. Does he start with any good items? Not quite. Alright, it's worth checking the other one before we decide this. Because we got 2.4 that we can use. Foreman, it's been changed in the mod. It's no longer 10% industry. It's now minus 10% construction cost, which I argue might be better. You actually save more money this way. Oh, we did roll a pretty good item, Master Craftsman. But it's not worth trading for. I think the only item worth trading for this early are satisfaction items. Just curious to see if anyone got one of those. Not negative satisfaction. Looking for positive satisfaction. Also a good item. They buffed her. Now there's corruption reduction on her. Definitely a lot of good changes on the mod. Wang Yun himself is single. Okay. Builder, still construction time. Pass.
有什么要说的？
They added ammo for artillery. Okay. Although I think there's a cap to that. Oh, retinue upkeep discount. Not bad.
那就快一点吧。
Alright, guess not. Guess we'll just take our boring trade deal.
很荣幸再相见。
Probably per turn. 106, 105. Come on. 10, how about 104? There we go.
好，准了。
Alright, so diplomacy is done. We can go to our first fight. This is our resource. It goes from 0 to 500. At the lowest tier, it's a pretty big hit. We pay 10% more upkeep for all our unit. Our spies lose 6 points of cover, and we also lose 10 points of max cover. We lose 4% replenishment. We don't want to be here. Then this tier, it's still very bad. We do get a little bit positive replenishment, but the spying negative are still there, just a little bit less. We're currently in this middle area where we get a small bonus. 5% upkeep, 2 points of cover, 5 points of max cover, 4% replenishment. The decay is 25 points, which is pretty hefty. We're at 295, so I'm guessing this is above to 300. So if I have to read the bar, I would say this is 50. This is from 50 to 200, 200 to 300, 300 probably to 450. And then the last 50, 450 to 500 is the last tier here. Striking hours. Very good, right? We get scare on all our units. We get 20% upkeep reduction, 10 points of cover per turn, plus 20 max cover, and 12% replenishment. But the decay is 80 points. So if this is my, estimation between 450 and 500, then with 80 points decay, you're dropping back down immediately. So we have to find ways to pick up a lot of this insurgency points. We'll see how much we gain by the fighting. We'll see how much we gain by the spy once we have some spies. We start out with no one willing to spy and also no characters, no turncoats. So nothing there. This is one of the Wuhu warbands. Let's see. Has a ranged weapon, so there's a secondary weapon. Raider, guerrilla deployment, charge negation, high charge, good attack rate, okay damage, but there's a bonus versus infantry, which is a hit rate bonus. So it's more likely to, hit. This is closer to like how the older Total Wars are calculated. I mean, it's in the base code. Plus 29, melee evasion, armor. What is the ranged weapon? It's 200 range. I'm guessing it's a bow. It's a pretty weak bow, basically. 5 ammo? Is that a bow, though? 5 ammo doesn't feel like a bow. The range feels like a bow. We'll see. We'll test this out in the battle. And then we have Seadown calves on top of having access to town calves. Interesting. Now, Seadown cav, high armor piercing damage, very high charge bonus. Wow. Higher than I expected. I believe the reform on the mod took away all the unit unlock and building unlock. So basically, and also a lot of the bonuses changed. So we have to probably spend a little time getting used to that as well once that time comes. Buildings, economy also changed. There's a lot of overhaul with the mod. So bear with us. We probably want to fight this. We don't want to take this Pyrrhic victory here. Alright, they do have towers, but I don't think that's going to be a big issue. We have Aurora ability, we have tenacity. Okay, nothing too crazy there. We'll have to see exactly what that weapon is. I wonder if they will come out. They do have a lot of numbers on us. Doesn't look like they're coming. Okay, we're gonna see if we can wiggle into one of the sides.
友军正在遭受攻击。
Took one hit, no big deal. Get into the peasants. Should have terrible morale, right? Ooh, huge numbers on the peasant. It's out of 150 unit, and the mod's giving them size, basically, to make up for their strength. I mean, that's usually a tough balance, because having numbers in Total War games is a huge advantage. We might have to chase out... He's gonna bounce back. This is another peasant, huh? Hold on, we're gonna do the double roar then if they're both peasants. And then we're probably gonna chain route at least one of them. Holding very steady. There we go. We're gonna try to take over one gate. Well, the capture rate is really slow. They must have changed the weight on that as well. They're most likely going to bounce back once the roar effect goes away. We're just going to have to roar them again. Alright, just want to let me capture that, please. Yeah, this is on 3 times speed and it's really slow, so they must have modified the capture weight. They're sending more units to disrupt us. Yeah, that's the only one that's worth fighting with the formation and everything. Everything else is just peasant unit. I mean, the way the battle's going, we should just run Hansui up here too. How many times can those towers actually hit us? Zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. There we go. Oh. Alright, we'll help. Alright, 2 of us capturing that. Let's do it. Even 2 of us is this? Okay, it's a little bit faster. Did we not? Okay, we got one. We got one. Excellent. Ooh, he's lost enough morale? Okay, let's see the raiders do its thing. Let's see what the range weapon is. Is it a bow? Is it a... It's a bow, yeah. 200 range just felt like a bow. How about you guys fire the bow? Burn this down too, please. Poison arrow by default. Okay. That's why the ammo's so low. Got it. And the fire rate is so low too. The fire rate's really low.
准备就绪，加速前进，快跑！杀呀！加快速度，顽强不屈，尽情厮杀。就这样。你太弱了，你太弱了。 准备。骑兵在此，抓紧！听命！加快脚步，赶快，赶快！是的，是的，好。
And the poison take damage doesn't look that high, actually. I mean, it says 60. I just don't see the units melting away, basically. Are per unit health higher with 150? I guess it is higher, because usually it's 72k, but they've been losing health. I mean, we're probably timing the roar with the charge. Let's wait a little bit, wait a little bit. No, you two get over here. They braced, actually. I think they have charge negation. But we can get them from behind. It's okay. Ma Wen's not one of the characters that I want to build up, so I think after this fight we can just dismiss him, delete his retinue, and send him back to the bench. So it's okay, he took a lot of damage for us and killed about 300 guys. He's probably going to level up, which we might want to hold off on, since I feel like the satisfaction issue is going to be pretty blatant. So we get 60 after one battle. Then we're fine. Okay, then 80 decay is fine. They just basically asked us to fight about 2 battles per turn. I mean, that's still a lot, but not too bad. Support the people. Faction support is a big deal in this mod. I learned my lessons from before. So as long as we build or upgrade a building in Jincheng, but Jincheng proper. So let's take a look at some of the building options with the mod. These are the sub-buildings. There's some unique ones out in the northwest. This one's probably unique for us, the spying hub. We can get a passive insurgency increase. Oh, this will also solve the decay issue then. And this is definitely good. It's mainly spy defense. There's a little bit of upkeep reduction for our new spies. It's not that great, but I guess we have a lot of spies and the 15 upkeep wouldn't be an issue at all. Although it does cost money to build this thing. 1,913, that's not cheap for a sub building. The Xiliang horse breeding will allow us to build, I'm guessing, Xiliang units. Okay, I mean, it's gonna be a silk income, so the mod gives it base commerce and base silk. That's different from the base game, which is why we have our inn and our marketplace early on. So this income from trade agreement, it's different from trade influence. Trade influence is how you split the total trade income between the two factions. Trade income boost to trade agreement here is actually increasing your total income from the trade deal itself. So this is actually scalable, in my opinion. It's promising. Give up a lot of income for more undercover network costs for enemy spies. I don't want that. I just want this side, I'm pretty sure. We just be very careful and not hire any spies. I think that solves most of our problems. Since it's not capped by reform, it's capped by, it needs to be a city, which is capped by food. And we currently don't have enough food to get this. We need 6 food. So I'm guessing we have to pick up parts of Anding. We're not at war with the Han, which I guess is owned by Dongzhuo here. Indeed, so we can't take their land. Who owns the rest? Oh, Han faction. Then the only way we can get more food is... What if I don't like any of these buildings? Needs to be a city first. Can't be a city without food. Do we take this building off just so that we can build a land development first? Because we really need food. That might be the thing we have to do. Take that down. Alright, we talked about Ma Wan here. We're going to take away his item. Someone else should have it. I should be equipped with the commerce boost. Okay, I mean, this is fine. Our heir should get income from trade agreement, a little bit of reserve. I don't think he needs to come on the field, though. We'll dismiss these two. And then recall him. I'm glad he didn't level up. I think I probably personally favor someone like Yan Xing, who, historically, fought a duel against Ma Chao and almost killed him. And then we get Tranquil. He's not the... I think our daughter would be our first administrator. So she will have this. I don't believe we start with administrator. We don't. The bonus for this is... Oh, you're passing on your faction-wide bonus here. This is a prime minister level position? Wow. Unexpected. The stats you see, like construction cost, that's from their expertise stat. I'm just surprised this is a faction-wide bonus. And there's no desire for higher office until rank 7. Plus 5 max cover when spying, plus 2 cover gain per turn. We probably benefit from sending a commander with high authority with the satisfaction boost you see here. There's corruption reduction on him. He must have a trait for that. I don't see anyone else that would warrant this position. Alright, Zhang Heng takes this. So everyone's satisfaction gets bumped. That's excellent. And then we want more authority on him. Best we can do for now. Yeah, he has the honest trait, so corruption reduction locked in there. We can't recruit any unit this turn. So that's as good as we got. I don't think we need this upgrade yet, although the garrison increase will be nice. Just a little costly. Hopefully we get administrator first, which will probably take a rank up or a reform. In the meantime, let's prep our daughter by assigning her this, so she can do some assignments. And that's pretty much it for turn 1. Yeah, very lengthy turns. We're getting used to the mod. The only place I see we can expand to is here. We could start wars with some of these factions in the northwest. That's the other option. The turns do take longer with the mod, that is for sure. A lot of factions. Dominating Magnet. 正保. 50% income from family estate. I mean, he's not going to be our leader. Past loyalties here. Could be a spy, actually. There's now, I think, up to like 50 relationship slots with the mod changes. The recent patch. So we'll see if that becomes a factor. Yeah, we're going to go for more food because we're restricted by the city build. That's what we're going to build first. Do I want a tool maker? I mean, it's not whether I want it, it's just like that's the only thing that's readily available for us to grab. It's very far. Out of everyone who... Oh, there are a lot of characters that just pop into the recruitment pool that we did not have earlier. So this is a fresh spawn character, which is why we don't see the stats. It's level 0 until it's recruited. It's not a bug, it's just how the game works. So we know she's not a spy because she has not worked for anyone before. Same thing here. I'm gonna hold off on recruiting new characters just because we have a lot of characters already. I think Yangqiu would be good. We have damage bonus on own retinue, melee evasion for spear infantry. Determined, he can be the commanding, he can give replenishment, he can get reach later. So let's get him on the field. And then if we can find another one of the Sway Riders who get along with this group, that would be perfect. I don't think we need to mess with him, although argument can be made if we get him more level ups and he pick up more of these traits, he can do a better job in his current position. The question is, it will take like whether he'll make a good partner in... See, he's also competing for when commanding, so that's not good. He should be in his own separate army. What about our son and heir, who could also use levels? He's not very useful though. That is the problem. Now, how can you be a writer of Sway and then you don't like us? That's pretty good. Questions, can we do better? Can we ignore some? What about our younger son? But double champions feels... He feels out of place just because of his snipe ability. Alright, we'll work with someone who doesn't like us and try to fix that relationship. I think that's how we'll do it. I probably favor one of them. He has the roar. He has the final rush. So 2 roars. Post-battle loot when commanding, kind of tough. Yeah, how about him? Just some own retinue buffs. Alright, Hou Xuan it is. I will be leading. And let's see what units we can get. So the Wuhu Warband is just a single unit. It's not something we'll probably recruit more of. We don't have access to any of the faction unique because our rank is too low. 23, 23, 23. They lowered the counts of all the lower tier cavalry to 23. So technically we already paid for these units that we have on the redeployment. Now I know they also changed General of the Left and General of the Right. So now it's a speed bonus and a morale bonus. No more fudging around with the recruitment discounts. You can, however, get a little bit more instinct. And there is still a little faction-wide recruitment. But that's okay. It's not going to be on him. He can help in that regard. Because he's actually in a Prime Minister equivalent position. Very high anti-cavalry bonus. Key difference is morale. I mean damage as well. Much lower evasion than the D militia actually. So against infantry, the D militia is going to outperform. 3. Okay, I'm going to actually just play it safe and just go with the cheaper option. Get a couple more D militia. So we are higher tier. Mounted archers. More sit-down calves. Very pricey. We can't afford 2 of them. Maybe we want some frontline against range, or else we have nothing against range. Now, did they change these units to make them like a little bit more different? So huge morale advantage, but everything else, I think Saber wins. A little bit more armor piercing damage. Okay, more evasion. Just basically higher charge. This is more of the shield, and this is more the offensive charging unit. I think we want these. Definitely a little bit pricier, but we can afford exactly 2. And we tanked our economy. We're basically just going to be running this. Let this heal up, and then we'll be gunning for that. And as we wait, our, the decay is going to be happening. It's pretty costly. I guess whatever bonus we lose, we'll get it back quickly once we start fighting. Alrighty, so I'm going to be starting to cut out these end turns because they take way too long, way too many factions, and with the mod, I think it's just slowing it down. We got our first building. Replenishment bonus should help with our units. And we want to rank up. I definitely do. So we don't have enough money for the next one, we just have to wait on this. With the replenishment bonus, we can move... Actually, let's move this turn, because we're getting plenty of base replenishment. The mustering is only 10% of it. Oh, that's the recommended path? I guess this is the desert? Alright, we still heal up in 1. We don't have military access. But I'm counting on the Hun not reporting us on Dongzhuo to fight us. So I'm just gonna walk through them. Drunken, coming from the Han. I mean, if he was younger... he has a good assignment. Wizened command. Okay. I mean, nothing special really. Good administrator? Very good administrator. But he's already 81, right? Look at the age. He's not going to be alive very long. Gentleman's definitely a possibility. If we were slightly richer, we would do it. Okay, so we do notice that they're under attack. So we might not make it there on time. Telling us there's nobody. There is a new person. Guess they're just not displayed. Right, we might not be able to make it there on time. What if we... That's far. What if we attack
我们定能达成一致。
So he just owns the one command. Oh, he started to take some land. Okay. That's good. If he takes them, and if they take it from the Han, we can take it from them without fighting the Han. That'd be perfect. So instead of going here, I think we do look to a crossing.
向前进军。
It is finally spring. We do get to pick our reform. Now these are a lot different. We can get our food from this. That's different from the base game. Green buildings, 10% discount. Recruitment. There's still an administrator position here that I might be interested in. I also want to upgrade to the city. Yeah, some of these require tier 1 buildings. I think this is a winner here. Because we can get administrator next spring, much faster than our rank up. And we can level up to city a little bit cheaper. Which are all very important to us. Alright, now that we got this upgraded, once we get to 1,000, if Zhangwen's still around, I might think about recruiting him. Because it's not like our guys have strategists, right? No strategists in the faction. He's still a little old for our timeline, but I think it's worth considering. Our bonuses are bleeding away very soon, so we need to find some fight. Alright, so we did get a looter spawn from someone's faction council event, and we can actually fight that for maybe a little bit of insurgency points. They seem to have survived, maybe not, but I'm not counting on that. This is Han territory. We'll be trespassing a little, but we can fight the looters for points. I think we do it. It's a very easy fight, and if we capture him, we get an early trebuchet, which would be huge, because it's rank lock in this mod. So our goal is to not kill him and see if we can capture him. 57%, it's a pretty decent rate. Can we... I don't know if we have enough movement. I'm going to keep him alive on the field, because I'm pretty sure Han Sui with rank 4 would actually have a higher rate. Oh, it's on his last wound. What if we... do we want to withdraw for this? I don't think I have enough movement after the withdrawal, but it is kind of important for us to try to capture him here. So we'll let him stay alive for one more turn, basically. Alright, next upgrade. Couple turns with the funding. How far away from second marquise? Very far away. So it's better to wait for the 2 turns. Make sure she's available next spring. That's another thing. Alright, hopefully we can catch them. What? Who? I have Han Sui. Okay, I mean we can't trust that. The 5 point of satisfaction faction-wide just for having him is worth recruiting him. No turncoats. Okay. Yeah, I care more about the satisfaction at this point than anything else. Especially as everyone's accumulating lack of purpose on our bench. Well, that's a new button. Pretty neat. Looks like we can get the fight. We shifted up to 66%. I think it's worth it. I mean, getting an early trebuchet would be massive for us. Alright, because of our son, we have guerrilla deployment on everything. So we're gonna basically swarm this trebuchet from multiple directions. Also make sure our infantry are nowhere within damage. Oh, they can... Okay, I don't want to do this because I don't want him dead. You know, everyone can duel in the mod. Spread out, spread out. He's gonna fire. it's still kind of far with the deployment zones.
骑兵准备，加快步伐，顽强不屈。
Ow!
加快速度，
Actually hit us.
砍翻他们！
How are you so accurate?
鼓起勇气，杀呀！做好准备，自国讨贼！杀呀！注意，统治敌军！击敌军！准备就绪。
No, you're not allowed to kill us.
运动了，
Lost a few guys, not a big deal.
把戏到此为止了。手骨断筋。
How about you just hit this? The speed nerf on cavalry is pretty significant. Only 68 speed. It's very slow.
砍翻他们！加快脚步，天下不留。跑起来！
Okay, he's gonna army loss, right? Yeah, he should.
敌军士兵正在溃逃。友军正在遭受攻击。
But don't kill him. Pull off, pull off. Just tap him a couple times.
敌军仓皇逃窜，
Okay.
一群懦夫。
I mean, it did say last wound, so he's probably still gonna be, deleted from the map, just like the turn 1 battles, but just in case he is not, we have a second chance at it. Come on, 66%.
正义必胜，我等应设宴庆贺。
Ah, we didn't get him.
对他们严加处罚，恐怕颇为
Is he still on the field? He's still on the field. Okay, we gave ourselves another chance. Perfect.
坚如盾牌。
So we have to hit him next
势
turn,
如利刃
basically. Nope, not doing anything there. Not sending him away. Just gonna have him in the faction to boost our satisfaction. I hope Matun is successful. If he gets this, this is no longer his capital because he'll move to a actual commandery capital, and then we can trade for it. It'll be solved once we put administrator there. This is definitely delaying our expansion on land we can actually take, but hopefully worth it. Oh. So, did he lose the Emperor? No, he's still... He lost the capital. Wait. Are they... They're still friends? Was the Emperor always there? I'm a little confused about why Lu was given Cha in the beginning. Looks like Ma Tong failed to take it. We get our last shot here. Yeah, when he retreats, it's definitely the last shot. 66%. There's no need to babysit this. Actually, we still need to babysit to make sure he doesn't die. Because he can actually physically get killed on the battlefield, and that's something we don't want. Yeah, we definitely have more important missions aside from this, but Trebuchet, gotta get that Trebuchet. It's future technology. Only like 800 years ahead of its time in China at this point. Charge! Charge! We just don't kill the guy. Army lost everything else. We might have to tap him a little bit. Oh my god, this is delicate. If you kill him, 4k. 2k. Can I roar him again? I have to hit him to roar him. There we go, there we go. That's it. This is our only chance to capture him. The army's wiped after this. Fingers crossed. Liao Shiyuan. Will you become our first strategist? Moment of truth. I know he's dead, but if we capture him, it's fine. No, he's dead. Ah, shame. What a shame. Okay, so what piece of land do we want? Kuitou is a Xianbei chieftain. Huang'an. He owns... Kuitou has a different commandery. Wu Yuanjun, a newly added commandery. I want to get out of this forest, get on the road at least. We're not healing here anyways. She will come back. We should have canceled her earlier last turn because we would have gotten enough money next turn, but it'd be too late to activate her in the winter, spring. Yeah, we're just going to have to hold this off until she becomes... We can send someone else to do it. That's probably what we should do. Yeah, not much else to do. All right, winter season, Xunyou. %75% character experience. I'm gonna have to say no to him. The value of a unique character has fallen quite a bit with all the mods added in, and I definitely wouldn't rate Xunyou as one of the stronger ones. Good local administrator. You can see now we start to have the lack of purpose pile up. There's not much we can do about this. We can send them onto the field. It'd be pricey. I can give him a job like this. The others, 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit too many. A little bit too many. Alright, we're gonna get a huge supply hit because it's winter. We need to get to here. I think he's actually on his way to take this, and we'll let him walk past us, and then we'll walk behind him and take what he just conquered. Our supply can still take it for a turn. Things will get better in the spring. What if I sent Xunyou as a spy to another faction? We have to pay 1,000 for this. Xunyou historically tried to assassinate Dong Zhuo. Maybe we'll let his wish come true this time. He failed. His story inspired Cao Cao's story in Romance of Three Kingdoms. Well, this got burned down. Someone just raised it. Interesting. I mean, would it be a better option for us? Maybe? Like, the expansion's not that great. I think the expansion here is probably better, to be honest. Please move. Okay, he's down here. Yeah, sure. They're fighting them too. I believe this is Liu Yan's son. Yeah, this is one of Liu Yan's son. One that didn't make it back to him. He's right next to us. If we do this, let's see where we get to first.
向前进军，一鼓作气。
He's gonna go farther, and we're gonna sneak up on this.
万物已然复苏。
Ooh. Industry and commerce. A lot of good items spawning into us. Our daughter. Look at those bonuses. Only 38 armor? I feel bad for you after seeing how much we have. He's a negative. He's bad for spying, isn't he? Wait. You gain more, but then you have to spend that exact amount when you do stuff. That's a terrible trade-off. Because you could be doing multiple actions per turn. Oh, he upgraded it. Even better. Alright, I think this is pretty much everything we can do. We declare war on him next turn. He has an interesting army. Caravan guards. Oh, Zhao Le. He's a local Han prefect. Another round of looters. We'll side with our daughter. As most dads do. Yeah, we now really have some satisfaction issues. Actually, they should swap it, to be honest. He hasn't taken it yet. I wonder if he will move his army back or take it first and then come back and fight us. This should just be open field. Yeah. Alright, having full guerrilla deployment is definitely very nice. We basically can speed up a lot of battles. These counter everything they have. We set these guys behind, let them shoot at them, force them to come to us, and then get some good counter charges, and we should be fine. Help out with the roar. They're a little wider than I wanted them to be. Okay, maybe don't burn behind you yet. Want them to be braced. Condense the middle. Hand this out. Get in here and roar. Peel them back. 2v1. Shift this way. Basically contain this. Help with this. Help with this. Help with this. Let's keep shooting that. Time to join the fight. Push up into that. Come join. Peel off the infantry.
陆军正在遭受攻击。
Shoot at the ones who are still routing. Get this route and we win. Now they're bouncing back. Infantry here, Senate cavalry. Sword in here. See if you can do a roar here. Alright, we're good. Everyone, pow in. We win? Yep. So I guess the amount of insurgency we get is based on like how many people we killed. Yeah, they traded with the enemy cavalry. Not a big deal. We get to rest here, get our supply back, wait for their army to return to us. I don't think we're in a rush to take their capital. There's also a looter staring at us.
憧憬胜利，尔等必将无往不利。我军势力得以扩张。
He has a trebuchet.
坚如盾牌，势如利刃。
Okay. Sure. Everyone gets one except for us. Yeah, we're gonna see how they decide to go, if they want to take this first or just come back directly to us. We'll let our supplies heal back up, we'll deal with the looters. And then once we take care of his main army, we're free to prey on his capital, plus if he took this, we'll definitely take it from him. And then it's basically expansion into the northwest and see how the new land look and see if we can capture these as a pretty safe rear front. Of course, there's still going to be looters, but seems like easy to take care of, right? Just one general with 2 units. We can take care of that, no problem. We are in this alliance war with Domal, but they're pretty far away, so I don't think I need any help. If anything, when we do have a little money, we need to summon some of our generals onto the field to maybe just guard our capital, or maybe guard our land against looters, just to keep them active, get rid of 20 points of lack of purpose. It's a tall task to get the satisfaction balance this early on, but I think we can do it. A little bit more prestige, maybe we hit the next rank. Things to look forward to as we will end our episode here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this start, and we'll continue from here next time. Until then, bye!